Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's Susie Q Stamping Sketch Card Saturday. That's a mouthful. My name is Sue Sanders, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Sorry about that motorcycle. I live on a highway, and so whenever they go by, they always make a lot of noise. Okay, well, today is April 25th, 2026, and this is sketch card. Let me see. I was messed up on my numbers a couple weeks ago, so let's look in my book here. This will be sketch card number 15 for us for 2026, and it's really a nice, easy sketch. I say that all the time, don't I? That the sketch cards are really easy to do. But in actuality, they are easy to do. Okay, I can't find something that I'm looking for, but that's okay. So I hope everybody has received their new catalog that will run from May and through August of 2026. Um, I really like the way this is laid out. It's so it still has all of our tools and supplies in one area, and then it has the stamps and the sweets and all together. It has all the paper together, so I really like it. I can't open it yet because it has not gone live, and I don't want to get into trouble by showing it before I'm supposed to. Okay, so I hope you all have had a wonderful week. My week has been kind of hectic. Um, I am with Blue Star Mothers of America, and as the first VP of my chapter, I have to contact schools along about January, February, and see if they have any graduating students that are going into the military. And then at which time I gather all that information, and then in May, we participate in what we call the honor cord ceremony. And we go to these different schools and we present those seniors with red, white, and blue cords and a certificate thanking them for their service in the military. So that's just one thing that we do every year. And this year I had 5 different counties and about 53 graduates that will be honored in May. So May is going to be quite busy. I think I'm doing 4 presentations, 2 in one week and 2 in another week, I believe, on the same day. Maybe 5, I can't remember. Anyway, so I have spent a lot of time this week and last preparing all of those certificates and typing in the names and all of that good stuff. Okay, besides that, I have had my new phone now for 2 weeks, and I still don't have it set up right. Oh my goodness, I just absolutely despise changing phones. I really do. I hope this is the last phone I have in my lifetime. Probably not, but I wish. It's so difficult to go through and change everything, and I was just getting used to all of my stuff on my other phone, and now I have to change it. So it's just a real pain. And then having my computer issues with my hacker, and then my camera quit working, so I had to take it back into the store to have it looked at. And oh my goodness, I have just had technical issues up to my eyebrows. Hopefully, I will get them all worked out and be back on the right track because it's going to start getting busy for me. I am looking forward to a trip to Maryland in May. Dorothy and I are going to take off on May 14th, and we're going to drive to Maryland, and we're going to go to the wedding shower of my grandson and his fiancee, Julia. So we are really excited about that. I've never been to Maryland. I've never seen any sites, so we're planning on going into Washington, D.C., which I've never been to, and see some of the sites there. So I will post some pictures of that. All right, so let's get started tonight. I have an easy sketch, and it is going to be, we'll move my catalog out of the way. You'll need a card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. So this is going to be our card base. Then you're going to need a piece that is 4 by 5.25, and you can emboss it. So that will be my emboss piece. You then have a strip of paper that is 2 inches by 5.25, and that's going to lay on top of that embossed piece. Then you will have a strip of paper, and it can either be cardstock or designer series paper. I just use discontinued cardstock for my sketch cards. And this piece measures 1 3/4 by 5.25, and that will get laid down on that piece. Then I have a strip that is about, I'm sorry, back that up. What have I got going on here? Oh, yes, here it is. This is a strip, and I didn't write it down, but it is a 1/2 inch by 4.25. That will get laid down like so. And these instructions will be in the description of the video below, so you don't have to worry about writing it down. Excuse me. Then I have a piece for my greeting, and this one measures 3 inches by 2 inches. However, you can cut this down depending on what your greeting is going to be. If you have a smaller greeting, you can definitely cut it down. You can use a die cut. You can use a punch. So I'm going to show you a couple of different alternatives within making the cards tonight or today. This is being recorded on Friday. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to lay down these pieces. And it doesn't matter what embossing folder. In fact, you don't even really have to use an embossing folder. You can use designer series paper if you want to, or you can just use a plain piece of cardstock for your layer here, as it doesn't really make a difference. But that embossing really kind of makes sure the rest of the cards stand out and look kind of polished and finished. So let's go ahead and we're going to lay this piece down, because I don't know about you, but sometimes my trimmer, and it's probably operator error, may not always be right on spot for the same measurements. So sometimes I will find that I have a little hangover up here. I don't have much today, but sometimes I do, and so I can trim that off as long as I haven't laid this piece down yet. We'll go ahead and apply this, and I'm just using my Stampin' Seal, and this is going to lay down right in the center of your mat, like so. And then we're going to take our strip, which is the 1/2 inch by 4.25, and we're going to lay that piece down. And you can use a punch, or you can do your little flags. See, I got a little hangover there, so we're going to trim that off. I'm saying sometimes it just doesn't match up. And then here is our other piece for our greeting. And you can pop this up with dimensionals if you choose to. So that is how the sketch will look when it's completed. Okay, we'll set that aside, and I've got 2 cards tonight that we're going to make. I am using the Sparkle, what is it called? Sprinkles and Sparkle paper. It's the real bold paper like this. And yes, it's called, oh, I'm sorry, Splash of Sparkles. So it was an online exclusive, I believe. I'm not sure if you can still get it or not, but this card is so easy to use any paper with to make it. So this one I am using Darling Duckling, and I'm going to give this a good burnish so that it lays flat for me. So it's the 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. Then I just used another embossing folder that just kind of gives it a little bit of texture. And we'll go ahead and attach that. Normally I use glue when I'm laying down an embossed piece, but my glue isn't wanting to work tonight, and so I thought, I'm not going to fight with it. We're just going to lay down my Stampin' Seal Plus. You're going to center that on your card, like so. And here is my strip, and I'm going to use this as my designer paper to lay on top of that. So we'll go ahead and see, isn't that a pretty side too? It's got gold in it. I love it, love it. This is such a bright, happy feeling. I may have to change my tape runner, I don't know. So we're going to lay this down. And I'm just going to center it the best that I can. And sometimes it's not 100%, but I don't try to be perfect anymore. I have decided that perfection is overrated because I am who I am, and I do things that are pretty well real. Okay, so I don't have any hangover there, so I don't need to trim it off. So we're going to go ahead and lay this down then. So this is a SIPS card, stamps, ink, and paper. I did use a punch to punch out my circle because I wanted to kind of go with the circles in my designer series paper. So I did use a circle punch, but you don't have to. So you can still just use a rectangle cut. All right, there we have, whoops, it slipped on me. There we have our centerpiece. And now I have a piece of Timid Tiger. Oh, this piece here, this is cloud cover. And then again, I came in with the Darling Duckling. This is Timid Tiger. And we're going to stamp on our white circle with, I just had it, here we go. I'm going to stamp with Timid Tiger on my circle. And it's going to be Birthday Wishes. I thought this would be a fun card to send to a child. It's so bright and fun. So there's my birthday wishes. We're going to lay this down. And I did use the 3-banner punch here. And I'll show you how I got it to where it would be longer than what the punch is. I am going to attach this with some adhesive just in the center of that circle, and then I'm going to attach my strip. Get it even and straight. Okay, so there we have that. Now I'm going to pop this up with some dimensionals, but I'm going to use my skeletons that I have, and I'm going to put down 2 strips of my skeleton sides. Like so. And then that will give us the dimension that we want. And I'm using up that scrap. And we're going to lay this down right here in the center. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit, not quite maybe completely centered because I want it to show all the different colors in that. I'm going to close my ink so I don't stick my hand in it. Then I'm going to come in, and I've got some of the in-color dots from 2527. Is that right? Yeah, 2527. And I'm going to use several of these. I love that they're circles because I have circles on my paper. So I am going to use some Timid Tiger right there. And I'll put a Timid Tiger down here. And then I'm going to put a couple of the Darling Duckling on my white. And then we're going to add one more because I don't want an even number. I want it to be an odd number. So we will add another Timid Tiger. Whoops, where did you go? There you are. We'll add it. Doesn't want to come off of my take your pick tool. Well, that one's just messed up. That's okay. I got more. We're going to lay this one right in. So there we have this one finished already. Okay, and you can put any kind of sentiment in the middle of it that you want. I'm not sure if I'm going to send this to a child or a teenager or an adult. But anyway, I've got it done, and all I have to do then is, this is going to bother me because it's not quite straight. And let me see if I can fix this without it ripping. Should have laid, there we go. Got it up. Good deal. Now let me fix this so that it's even back there. There we go. That was bothering me. It was just a little bit off because it was hanging off the side too much. So there we have our birthday wishes for a birthday card. Easy peasy, right? Okay. I have another one for you. I just like to show you a couple of different variations of this card, or of the sketch that I'm making. This one I am using the relaxing water side, and I'm using that beautiful paper that is, I don't want to say it's just masculine because women like to fish too. I am not one of them. However, I have been with my husband now 23 years, and he used to take me fishing all the time. And we would go down to the creek and fish. But this paper is so pretty, and we're going to use these two sheets, and it's the Waterside Retreat paper. And I'm going to use this wood grain, and then on the back side of this are the keychain floats and life preservers. And then I'm going to use a piece of this checkered piece, and on the back of it, it has all of the seagulls on it. Okay, and I am using gray granite and old olive for this, and very vanilla. So here's that piece that was the wood grain, and you can't really tell that it's a printed paper because I embossed it with an old embossing folder that was a wood grain texture type thing. So I embossed that, and we're going to lay that down. I am going to see, though, if I can find my, there it is. I'm going to use my glue for this one, I think. And just put some glue on this. And that glue will seep down into those crevices, and it'll hold it better than my tape runner, I believe. But like I said, I think I'm running out. All right. So let's lay this piece down on our card front like so. Using glue does give you some wiggle room too, so that's always a good thing. Okay. Except I got some glue all outside of that. Here's my eraser. Let's give it an eraser here so I'll get rid of some of that stickiness. Now I got it on my hand and I gotta scrape it off. I think I got too much on my sides, or my edges, I should say. That will come off. I will get that to come off. All right, now here is my old olive that's going to go down in my center, and this is the piece that I'm going to glue down like so. And I am going to make this card as a Father's Day card from my uncle. Um, him and his wife and my mom and dad were friends for, most of my life. So I have known him all of my life. He is the only one still living out of the four. And we always just called him aunt and uncle, so he will always be my uncle. Okay, so there we have our strip of paper. That is just a sticky. See if I can get that fixed. So leave me comments. Let me know what you think of the sketch card. Tell me which one is your favorite. I'll put them all out at the end of the video. And you can tell me which one is your favorite. I'll tell you, I really got a lot of excess sticky on this card. I think, there we go. And another trick that you can do if you get sticky on your card and you don't want to ruin it, because I don't want to have to do this again, you can take, as soon as I can find mine, you can take your embossing buddy or whatever you have that you use to put down before you emboss, and you can kind of tap it on there and then brush off that powder, and that removes that stickiness so that you don't have to worry about it sticking to things that you don't want it to stick to, right? All right. I don't have any excess because I think I trimmed these up before I got ready to come on air. So we'll lay this piece down now. Okay, got a little bit of sticky on my glass mat. And you want to just try to make this in the center as best you can. That's why I did a 2-inch so that it would basically be like an inch on either side that you use or that you lay this down. And so that is pretty good. I'm just judging it by my grid on my glass mat. So there's that. We are going to stamp this one now with Old Olive on the front, and we're going to say relax. He lives in an assisted facility, so of course he's going to relax, right? Because he's retired and he sits around a lot. Okay, so we're going to hit relax. And then we're going to attach this. And I told you I was going to show you how I got the banners. So with this banner punch, you can take your side, and I did cut this at, this is at 4 1/4. So a little bit's going to be cut off on each side. So I am just sticking my paper in there into that punch. You have to sometimes kind of work at it. And I put it through until it comes out to the other side. That way I know it's going to be kind of even on both ends. And I'm just kind of feeling it there. So there's that. So now we have that side. And we're going to turn it around and we're going to put it over on the other side. And we're going to snip it off. Just like we did that one. Come on now. Sometimes you just got to play with it until that paper goes in there for you. Okay? So there is our banner then. Okay? We're going to lay this down. Okay? And what I'm going to do on this one is I'm just going to lay this one flat. And because it's kind of raised up there where I've got the layers at, I'm just putting the adhesive in the center of this. And then that way it's not it's just laying there better. Okay. This we are going to pop up with some dimensionals. That's not quite even, Susie. I know. I said it didn't matter, but when I can look at it and it really shows like it's uneven, then I gotta fix it. So we're gonna just kind of lay this down and make sure that we have about the same amount on both sides. That looks better. And I'm gonna pop these up with the dimensionals. So I'm gonna cut some more of my skeletons here. Almost done with this. I can almost throw it away. Well, let's see. I want to make sure that it all pops up nice. So we'll put one there and one there, and we'll use another little bit in the center. Okay, whoops, that one's a little bit long. Let's trim it down. Okay. So does everybody have great big plans for the weekend? I am going to a meeting in the morning, and then Dorothy and I are going to do a little shopping just to do something fun. Okay, and so now I'm going to lay that right in the center, like so. And I'm going to take my inside piece. I'm going to say, this is your day. Happy Father's Day. And I am going to stamp that in the old olive. Let's see. Now that I'm thinking about this, I don't know if I want all of that or if I just want relax, Happy Father's Day. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I don't like having two words the same right after each other ending. And it said, it's your day. So we're just going to put Happy Father's Day. I'm going to stamp that like right there in the center. Still gives me a little bit of room that I can type, or I can send him a nice little note. And then to add to this on the inside, I'm going to add some of this beach grass here, and I'm going to do that in pecan pie, but I'm going to stamp it off. I had a whole bunch of scratch paper here earlier. There's some. So I'm going to stamp this off, and we'll see how that looks, because I didn't want to. So that's full strength, and that's lighter. I think I'm going to go with the lighter. And I'm just going to bring it in, and I'm just going to put this down here on the bottom. Okay. My uncle is going to really like this card. All right. So we'll put this on the inside. I have to flatten out my edges where it got cut with my trimmer. Okay. Just going to attach this using my Stampin' Seal Plus. So I do want to tell all of my followers and all of my viewers, I am a very simple stamper. Sometimes I can make some very extravagant cards, but when I say I'm a simple stamper, when I do a video, I don't have time to edit it. So if I make mistakes, you see those mistakes, and it doesn't bother me because nobody is perfect. So now I'm going to take some of these adhesive-backed sparkle gems. These are retired, but I have got a whole box of retired gems that I need to get used up. So I'm using up some retired gems, and we are going to put one large one, and we're going to put two smaller ones next to it, like like so. And then we're going to put a couple of the big ones down here on our flag, like so. And there is our sketch made up for a Father's Day card. Okay, I'm just going to move all of this stuff out of my way of the camera. Don't lose my stamp. I lost a stamp. Well, I didn't lose it. I just couldn't find it. I'd misplaced it. Well, it was right there. I just wasn't seeing it. All right, with all my trash. So there is the one card that we made tonight. And then this is the second card. Or that's the first card, and then our second card. Same sketch, but they totally have a different look. And here is a third one that I made using that same sparkle, splash and sparkle paper. And that is, my light just went off. It's on a, there we go. It does weird things. Sometimes if it gets too hot, then it shuts itself off. So anyway, here are the 3 cards for this week's sketch. I thank you so much for coming in and joining me for the last 30 minutes or so. I appreciate it. Have fun with this sketch. Make one and then upload it to Suzie Q Stamping's Facebook page, and then I can share it with others. I'd love to see what kind of cards you guys make. So anyway, you all have a great weekend, and I will be back next week with another video for you.